Welcome to Triple Option Radio. I'm Matt Sullivan alongside Rhett Prentice and Jack Abbott. Today we'll be talking about the NFC Championship game between the Giants and the 49ers. Huge win for the Giants last week. Insane win for the 49ers over the Saints the week before as well. Guys, what's your initial thought on this NFC Championship?
Both teams are coming in very hot,
Yep.
playing the kind of football that they like to play. I mean, they both probably had each had one of their best games, if not their best game of the season last week. I think on the Giants side, though, there is a lot of confidence on that side, and it's getting to the point where maybe they might run the risk of looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I think after the Saints got knocked out, they really felt that was going to be their big competition, and they're not taking the Niners seriously, and they just don't think they can be beat. Off the topic too, I live near a lot of Giants fans, and they're all immediately looking to the Super Bowl. And I think the Giants could just make the mistake of not taking the Niners seriously, which many teams have done this year, and many teams have been burned by.
Yeah, I mean that makes it's an easy mistake to make. This is a team that's clearly defense first with an unproven quarterback, and I mean the Niners rather. And they could take them for granted. I don't know. I see the Giants going in there and taking care of this though. I think they've beaten the Packers at Lambeau, and they've kind of evolved as a team as this year's gone on, and they're peaking right now. And sure, they do have a lot of swag going on and stuff, but I think that it's too much for the Niners. I mean, the Niners, they both beat great teams last week in great games and really played good football along the way. I think in this battle, I think Eli Manning is going to carry this team through.
I think that these teams are so equal. When you look at have great defenses, both have offenses that some weekends they hit or miss, and I think the Giants have a stronger offense. 49ers have the edge on defense. So it's going to be interesting. Candlestick is not an easy place to play in.
Yeah.
Saints learned that last week. It's going to be a hell of a game, and the line is basically even. You look at 49ers favored by 3 points, and that's just home field advantage. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip, this game.
Yeah, no, I really see this game is going to be, it's going to be one of those 22-20 matchups where the game's going to be won and lost by field position and by special teams and by the turnover battle. And just in looking at this 49ers team, I think they have the edge over the Giants in every one of those categories.
Yeah.
And I think, the fact that people, even though they're technically favored, think they're really the underdogs in this one. Something about them is just this year, they just have, something extra that's really, helping them win. You just saw it on display against the Saints.
No, I think they can easily play the underdog card against the Giants.
I really think they're going to beat the Giants.
I look at it in the playoffs. What you need is you need defense and you need playmakers. And I think the Giants have both of those. Now, the Niners,
I think the Niners do too.
the Niners certainly could. You could make the argument for them.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Giants roster, Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks, Mario Manningham from last week came out of nowhere, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Eli Manning. That offense is a potent offense, and it's really going to put the Niners defense to the test.
It is.
And the Giants have proven themselves on defense as well. They have 4 defensive ends that they can put anywhere on the line and get right after Alex Smith.
I agree.
But that's how you beat these Niners is you get to their quarterback, knock him off balance, and knock him out of his zone, and then the Giants have the guys to take a lead and hold on to it.
Although I think the Niners have the time to team. I think they match up. They're a bad matchup for Eli Manning because they play the kind of style that can force you into mistakes. Drew Brees came into that game throwing more than 250 pass attempts in the playoffs without throwing a pick, and he threw 2.
Right.
They make you fight for every yard. The Giants are not going to be able to run the ball whatsoever in this game. They had their struggles. They couldn't even do it that well against the Packers, and the Packers had one of the worst defenses in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
That's true. I think it's going to come down to the coaching scheme, Coughlin versus Harbaugh, and Jim is coach of the year hands down. Like the fact that the 49ers are in the NFC Championship is a lot of that's this coaching. He's done a phenomenal job. Alex Smith has developed, coming from a coach who was a quarterback. He was a phenomenal quarterback. He's coached Alex Smith, and I think Alex Smith is the key to this game. I think he played phenomenal last week, and driving down the field. Jimmy Graham scores, and then they have to drive down the field again, score with 9 seconds left. Like that was, I credit Alex Smith for that, and I think he's going to have a big weekend this weekend. I say, I really think it's going to come down to the end, just like that game.
Yeah,
so. It could. It certainly could. I don't see the Giants being afraid of the Niners or anything about it. Playing at Candlestick,
I don't think they're going to
that
be
vaunted defense. I think they go in there. They've beaten the Packers at Lambeau, and they've won on the road before. In '07, they took on the Pats, obviously, and they won 3 games on the road to do that.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do that again. Obviously, it's only 2, but they can take out these teams, and I think that they're just going to take care of business on their way to the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing. I think the 49ers are going to bring it way more than the Falcons and Packers have. I mean, the Giants have played great in these 2 playoff games, but their opponents haven't shown up either, which has made those games almost laughable. And I think they're going to get a much tougher test. And it's going to be great to see. But, it's going to be such a close margin that I have to give it to the team that has the intangibles. And I've seen more of that from the 49ers. Especially looking back this year after, last week I thought the Saints were going to take care of them easily. And even while the Saints could move the ball, the Niners were just doing the things that they've done all year.
Seems like you've jumped on the Niners bandwagon after they eliminated your Saints.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, they impressed me so much. And then, all the wins during last season that, seemed kind of fluky make a lot of sense in light of just how they've been able to do it. I mean,
they certainly win any way possible. Early on in the season, they had 2 kick returns.
They've got a never say die attitude.
Yeah, and that's their coach too. He brings a lot of that rah-rah to the team, and
the Giants can be shut down on offense. I mean,
yeah, no, it's happened.
They take advantage of teams with bad secondaries, but they've had games where they've really just been knocked flat in their face.
I mean, the Packers don't have a bad secondary.
No.
As much as their stats,
the Packers have a very bad secondary.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 32nd. Or no, 31st.
People excused it because their offense was so good that they were forcing turnovers, but they were, brutally exposed.
They were so much better last year. You're right.
Both of Nix's touchdowns, while he's a great player, that was shitty defense.
Oh, that was a terrible tackle on the long one, but that happens. That's 2 weeks off. Those kind of.
But I think they got shown for what they were.
They still had to beat Tramon Williams, B.J. Raji, Clay Matt, all those guys down the line, Charles Woodson. And they did, and it's going to be a great game. I think both these games this weekend are really going to be the best the NFL has to offer.
Yeah.
I agree.
Really, all these teams seem to be hitting their strides right now at perfect times.
Guys, what do you think? Just throw out who's going to win this game, and then what player is going to make the difference in this game.
I'm picking the Niners in this one, and the difference maker has to be Alex Smith, because the Giants, it's going to come down late in the game, and they're going to play a defensive scheme that's going to make Alex Smith beat them.
Yeah.
And he showed me, why I think the Niners can win this game is because the Saints did the same thing in the 4th quarter last week, and Alex Smith beat them. So, it's going to be up to him again.
In that same token, I think the Giants are going to win, and I'm going to take Eli Manning. I think he's shown really this year that he's come into his own, and he's not really shying away from those big moments anymore, whereas in the past he kind of showed spurts of it. Now he's really embodied that persona, and I think this team is poised to go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I'm going to say the difference maker is Alex Smith, but I think the Giants are going to win this one. I think it'll be very close at the end, but it's going to be a heartbreaking loss for the 49ers, and I think we're going to see a rematch of 2007 in the Super Bowl. So, guys,
it's going to be a great weekend, though.
Yeah, it should be a great weekend of football. Guys, thanks a lot for being on Triple Option Radio. Everyone else, check out more videos on our site, tripleoptionradio.com. Read our blogs, leave comments, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. And check back for more footage soon. Thanks.